How is it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at Doctor's Nowhere Oddity Compendium. This is the same creator as the Boiled One phenomena. A very horrifying piece of analog horror that I really recommend you to take a look at it. I assure you that it will really freak you out. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first anomaly on the video is called fleshbeds. Fleshbeds, or mattress folk, are a species of parasitic subhuman that highly resemble bedding mattresses. The body of a dormant fleshbed appears identical to a standard mattress. However, slicing the thin sheet-like skin reveals many soft organs, limb-like appendages, and a humanoid head which hides beneath the skin. They were first discovered in the late 1960s, when a mattress company was surveying excess storage. Upon finding many seemingly pristine mattresses that had not been sold, they gave them away to thrift shops and people in need. They initially had no issue with the fox beds. It wasn't until the air began to warm up in summer that these creatures awoke from their uneventful hibernations. The first recorded victim was a woman by the name of Alvis the Year, and now that I notice it, doesn't that just mean digested in French? She had been sleeping on a fleshbed for roughly 6 months, before her sudden disappearance. After noticing the stench of sulfur and rot originating from her bed, her family called authorities, and the inside of the mattress revealed a festing parasite, several hundred human bones, and a half-digested Alice. The method in which mattress folk sustain themselves is by waiting for the body heat of a host to awoke them from their dormant state. After they awake, they slowly unfold themselves from their soft, mattress-like bodies. This process is very gradual and happens underneath its body or on its side, so as not to be detected. After roughly a month of this process, on a night of 20 degrees Celsius or higher, the thing emerges from the side or beneath the bed and drags the victim with its arms to the inside to digest it. Not much is known about this creature, but it is theorized that once they were a branch of Homo sapiens that made contact with a species of mycelium many years ago, or in other words, a species of mushroom. Their digestive systems have revealed DNA samples from thousands of different people in each instance, some even tracing to people born during the 17th century. Even the fleshbeds had blood samples and DNA belonging to humans, and in one instance, one belonging to Napoleon Bonaparte, who was the leader of the French Republic during the same time period in which these things are believed to have come into existence. Then the video suggests us to throw that mattress that has been filled just a bit too warm lately in order to not get eaten. Overall, the appearance of these things is very horrifying, and that thing about mushrooms and merging with human DNA plays very well with the concept of a parasite. It also deals with the fear that most people have to parasites and small insects. I'm not saying that lices do not exist. Now, if you're dealing with bedbugs or other infestations of that kind, I suggest you to clean your fucking bathroom, or else I'll have to resort to the fiery method. This thing really reminds me to a mimic, a creature from the darkness that imitates furniture, that being a bed or a chest. I don't know about you, but in my times, things from the dark had to come up to you to kill you. Now they're just camping you under your own bed. The following oddity is referred to as the headless microcosm. This is a reality nearly identical to Earth, save from the fact that instead of humans, pale headless corpses remain in their steads. They all look mostly identical, and although they're technically dead, they do weakly breathe through the holes in their bodies. Their hearts have also been observed to begin convulsing at seemingly random intervals. These beings are identical in appearance to one another, aside from physical dimensions which can vary severely between each corpse. They also have been observed changing their behavior when humans have physically interacted with them, and apparently gain a level of awareness and vitality when such events occur, and as you'll soon see, that's not a pretty occurrence. There are approximately 2,400 living humans residing in this reality, all from parallel Earth. Every single resident recounts waking up in the headless macrocosm after falling asleep under strange circumstances back in their home realities. No one back in their own parallel homes remember their faces or identities, which leads to the belief that this place could be a form of anti-reality, a waste compartment of the universe used for the things that are harmful, useless, or not essential to existence itself. The humans that live in the headless macrocosm are assumed to be taking shelter in abandoned structures and banding together to search for plant-based food. Despite this pocket dimension being detached from the main reality, an incident took place which created a temporary tear between the two. A man residing in the headless macrocosm was walking through a field with a small house in the center. Upon reaching the house, the man unintentionally brushed up against one of the breathing bodies. The corpse, just before motionless, aside from the labored convulsions, sprang to life and removed the head of the man. It then proceeded to attach the severed head to the stump of its own neck. The man's name was Michael Tedford. After the corpse had placed Michael's head, an event occurred back on Earth in the year 2061 that resulted in government intervention. A family called the authorities, describing an impossibly tall naked figure in their backyard. The following photograph depicts this figure they spoke of. The rotten head of Michael Tedford is affixed atop its frail neck. Shortly after the photo was taken, what was left of Tedford's existence was removed from the premises and taken to an upscale anomaly testing site. Apparently, the corpse was attempting to quite literally become Tedford by leeching off his existence. These breathing bodies appear to be in a constant state of yearning to reconnect with the roots of reality, as they have been taken hold of by a dangerous and contagious disease. This disease appears to be non-existence itself. It can affect anyone on Earth at any time, and once it takes hold, the headless microcosm deems you valid for residence within its endless meadows, but there's nothing to worry about. It's a strange diagnosis. As another side note, occasionally, crude man-made structures will form seemingly out of nowhere in order to correspond with these structures on parallel Earth. As mentioned earlier, the headless macrocosm itself functions like the digestive system of the universe, and these structures may be antibodies attempting to fight off the virus of non-existence, luring other humans and maybe the same headless corpses to its jaws. This concept of the pocket dimension where forgotten things wash up has been explored in several entries of the SCP Foundation, sites of reminding me a bit of the Upside Down from the Stranger Things, and it's been explored in an Amazing World of Gumball episode. But if you think about it, the idea is very horrifying. Imagine just minding your own business and one day the universe decides that you're no longer needed for the well-being of reality. You go to take a nap and suddenly you are in some sort of level of the backrooms, with the difference that there is definitely no way out of this place. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Not like the camping mimic monster, I'll give that motherfucker a 4 out of 10 for camping. The third anomaly is known as the Obelisks of Enlightenment. These are a collective of monolithic beings that are currently residing in different remote locations across the world. They appear in groups of 1 to 8 and stand anywhere in groups of 3 to 5 meters. Each obelisk is levitating just above ground and are facing the true north of the Earth. They have been also found floating above the ocean within the vicinity of the Bermuda Triangle, and even on the moon. They are moving just ever so slightly and progress approximately 6 centimeters a year. They are enlightened in the infinitely vast secrets of the universe, and they are constantly vocalizing the excess information as a means of counteracting the overwhelming weight of knowledge. They are currently enclosed and monitored by government entities. Many people had wandered into these locations, claiming to be following the sound of angelic singing. This allowing whom induces a massive increase in general intelligence in subjects, and folklore often refers to the frequency as the Song of Divine Contour. I'm pretty sure that there's a reference in the Bible about this, somewhere, I don't know. The biological elements of these things are unraveled hundreds of meters into the sky to make a metaphysical connection from Earth to the cosmos. These organs are confirmed to be of humans and other biological matter that were absorbed after the Enlightenment. You see, after receiving the words of the obelisk or getting into close proximity of these things, the human brain either spontaneously expands and explodes or receives the ability to comprehend the sacred information. Whenever a subject is able to comprehend this knowledge, they are biologically absorbed into the obelisk, becoming wholly unified with the being. It is not entirely understood how these creatures were brought into existence, but they seem to be tears into the fabric of reality, similar to black holes. Many speculate that these ribs were opened by the ancient giants who were dissatisfied with the lack of Earth knowledge. Many unnaturally large humanoid skeletons have been found underground, adjacent to obelisk sites, further supporting this idea, of course. The oldest records of these things is that they aided in the construction of the pyramids, bestowing low levels of knowledge to the pharaohs of the time. It's not the first time I've seen the idea of a celestial megaphone left behind by some divine entity to an older civilization to gain greater power. But the idea of these things floating around the Earth moving slowly to the north makes us beg the question of what will happen once they reach the North Pole. You know what? Why don't we just carry them in helicopters to the Arctic Sea and see what happens? If these guys know that the world is coming to an end, why don't just let it happen, huh? I'll give them a 6 out of 10. Besides, their faces are horrifying. Are they still alive or conscious? That looks painful as hell. Now, to wrap this up, a bonus entity that plays out more like a joke, to be honest. This one's called Filus. It is not known where Filus comes from or why he is here, but there have been a number of people who, after consuming media depicting Filus, have felt the overwhelming compulsion to practice Filbism. Filbism is a political and somewhat religious ideology which centers around the belief that building and consuming chairs and other wooden furniture is honoring the great Filbus sacrifice, or whatever that means. Attributes and practices of Filbism include learning to build chairs, learning to properly digest chairs, promoting and discussing chair consumption, and praising the fictional political candidate known as Filbus, who is said to advocate for making furniture consumption a socially accepted practice. I don't know about you, but if we have to normalize eating chairs, it is not supposed to be normal, you know? Unless we change the material of construction. We can use chairs, but not those made of wood. What about chairs made of chocolate, gingerbread, or origami? I mean, most of those are still edible, right? The thing about this anomaly is that any mention of Filbism or elaboration of the subject will eventually result in it becoming a sponsorship or advertisement of sorts, and there is currently no way of avoiding this, so yeah. You know what, if the chairs are made of cookie, I'm giving this thing a 5 out of 10. Above the camping creature inside my bed, obviously. Anyway guys, that might be it for today. I hope you liked the video, and if that's the case, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. That really helps out the channel. I know that these things are supposed to be taken seriously, but come on, Dr. Nowhere, you're not scaring me with these freaky fellows. Anyway guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.